Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Asian Blokes Podcast, a podcast where we talk about Asian pop culture, films, TV shows, comic books, anime, music, food, video games, whatever we're feeling at the time, really. My name is Dan with a H, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Thavy. Hi, Thavy.
Hi, Dan. That's right. We're on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
We're in my lounge room
Yes, very comfortable.
at a very crisp 1 a.m.
Yeah,
in the
spookiest
morning.
time of night, Thavy.
Well, isn't the witching hour like 3 o'clock?
Shut up.
Well, we might even be up until 3 o'clock anyway.
Yeah, that's true. We'll probably get
Yeah.
into the
Whether
spookiest time
this-
of night
Yeah,
at some
hopefully
point.
we can get this out before Halloween. We've got a very special Halloween episode today.
Yay!
Or
Guests.
could be post-Halloween episode.
Hey, maybe
depending
it'll
on-
come out in December. Who knows?
Depends how fast I can edit this, which is probably not that fast.
Nah, I should be right.
Yeah, but no, we're joined by the very wonderful character Chaos once again.
Yes. Welcome, Margaret and Rhiannon.
Hello. Hey, what's up, guys?
Yo, what's up? Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
After we showed you a pretty hardcore movie last time,
Yep.
Yes.
I promised that I'd show you something lighter. I'm not sure if this is particularly light.
I don't know if you
but-
succeeded.
I don't know if I
It's light
succeeded.
by
I see
Thavy
the
standards.
attempt, but still a little traumatized, respectfully.
Oh, good. So today we're going to be talking about A Tale of Two Sisters, appropriately spooky film from South Korea, directed by the magnificent Kim Jee-woon. This is a 2003
2003. This
movie.
is part of the
so
Trinity.
20-year anniversary it's celebrating,
Yeah,
right?
the Trinity of Korean New Wave, which Margaret and Rhiannon had the pleasure to join us for Old Boy, and we traumatized them then,
Indeed.
and we traumatize you again. It appears, but
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Before we get into the meat of the show, like just on the topic of Halloween and horror, I just wanted to ask you guys, like, because in Australia Halloween was not really a thing until maybe recently in the past
Oh, really?
5 or 10 years.
Right.
We didn't really celebrate it.
Tavy and I have never been trick-or-treating before.
Yeah, we've never been trick-or-treating.
Really?
So,
Aw.
yeah. So we wondered what it was like, Halloween was like for you guys, like growing up in the
I
UK.
mean, I say we had Halloween. Like, we did trick-or-treating and stuff and had little, like, Halloween parties and shit, but it's not, like, as big as American Halloween. Americans love Halloween. I'd
Yeah,
say
they
it's,
do.
like, 50-50 if you meet someone in the UK who's either like, I love Halloween, or I'm just waiting till Christmas. I don't even know what that is. Would you say that's true, Nan?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, I grew up with all of my friends celebrating Halloween and going trick-or-treating and doing things for Halloween, and my parents hate Halloween, so I never did it. And I had the worst FOMO ever growing up.
Oh.
No, and you love chocolate as well.
I know.
Exactly. Free
Oh.
sweets and chocolate would have been great. But yeah,
That's so fucked up.
Oh.
I mourn it now, but now I'm just bitter. Now I'm like, yeah, I don't really care about Halloween.
Oh, okay, great. Good to know you're over it.
So you don't keep candy for trick-or-treaters in your
I
home
do
then?
not know.
You shoo them away.
Yeah.
You'd prefer the trick.
Yeah, I'm the Grinch of
Yeah, I
Halloween.
prefer the trick, to be honest.
So you're all sad you didn't get to do trick-or-treating as a kid? Like, do you feel like you really missed out?
Yeah, and to be fair, I talked to my mum about it, and she was like, yeah, I do feel really bad for not taking you trick-or-treating when I was younger. And I was like, it's too
Aw.
late now. It's too late now.
Come on,
It's never too
Sharon.
late. It's never too late to go around to strangers' houses and dress in a costume and ask for candy.
They would give you the weirdest looks if you did that as a 23-year-old woman. Like, hey,
yeah.
dressed as a robot. Like, can I have a Snickers, please?
Just towering over the other children.
But get out of my way, you little shit. This chocolate's mine.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
And teaching them a lesson. Wait, so do you guys do Halloween now in Australia? Now it's a thing?
When we were already like in our like early to mid 20s, there were some parties that were hosted. Dan and I, we always like the idea of dressing up to not even just Halloween, to like there were like anime conventions that we wanted to go to,
yeah.
and we were like, oh yeah, let's do some cosplay. And then
We are far too lazy
far
to
too
commit to cosplaying there. It takes a lot of effort.
It does.
Effort that we hadn't considered when we like floated the idea of cosplaying.
We're like, oh yeah, let's go as like One Piece pirates. And I don't even know what a One Piece pirate looks like. That's all right. They just dress up as pirates, and then we just didn't.
And
We
it
were
requires
like,
a lot of
let's just
effort.
go.
It does.
It's
And then you
too-
have to stay in costume for the whole day. Nah,
Yeah.
that's all right. But I
Yeah.
know you guys like a costume or two, right?
I'd say we do.
Yeah, we've
Cheeky little costume.
we've done the last couple of Halloweens together. We dressed up, didn't we? Did it like we just like went on a night out kind of thing. That's also kind
Yeah.
of what Halloween here is a little bit. Like you just get like a
Yeah,
good
you just
night
go on a
out.
night out.
Mm.
You just get really drunk.
Yeah, yeah.
Is
It's a good bit
Halloween
of
like
fun.
spooky or is it just whatever, like dress up whatever?
I think it's more just a bit of fun. Do you know what? British
Mm.
people really take any opportunity for an excuse to be whimsical because we can't in the rest of our lives. I think British people just like, oh, I can be fun
Right.
today.
Mm.
Oh, that
Yeah,
sounds
yeah.
nice. I get to dress up today. So I think, yeah, it's just an opportunity to like, I don't know, let loose, have a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Not as spooky. I don't
Yeah.
think I've ever been scared on Halloween. I'm a bit of a weenie. I don't love the movies. I just like the chocolate.
Yeah. I think that's what it is in Australia as well. Just a bit of
Yeah.
fun. Just an excuse to get drunk while wearing masks.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
nobody knows who you are. And
Fair
then
enough.
just wreak havoc
Yeah, yeah.
wherever you are. Just cause chaos, I guess.
What were some of the memorable costumes that you had when you were on Halloween? I know Dan was wearing like one of those horse heads when we were in Tokyo. We partied in Shibuya.
Oh,
if you
Oh,
remember
yeah, that was
that.
fun.
And then
Mm.
someone was feeding you like lollies through your mouth. Is
Yeah.
that
Oh,
what I
I love
remember?
that.
Yeah.
Well,
That
what
sounds
are some
fun.
of your guys like memorable costumes? If you got any?
I mean, recently we've done some like proper costumes together, haven't we? We did
Yeah.
the Wanda and
Oh,
Pietro
cool.
from One Division 1 that we like did down to the details. We
Mhm.
like fully handmade them. That was fun.
Yeah, that was really fun.
As a kid,
Ooh,
my
that sounds
mum
cool.
once made me an Iron Man costume that was actually really cool. It was like a cardboard
Aw.
Iron Man one that I loved and I wore like 3 years in a row. Other
Oh,
than
that's
that,
sweet.
it's just, you go as a good cat. As a kid, it's cute. As an adult, it can be sexy. Just do a little cat
Uh-huh.
costume. It's so easy. Didn't you do Violet Beauregard? No.
Oh yeah, and like a COVID little like party we did. Not that's God, that sounds bad. It was like a post-COVID kind of party.
I'm sorry, were you
Broke-
party gating?
That sounds like I just broke every COVID rule. I meant it was like kind of in the aftermath little era of COVID. But yeah, I went as
Sure.
Violet from
Yeah.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I forgot about that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
did
yeah,
that.
you did mention,
Yeah,
I
I think you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
when we came on your show. Yeah. Yeah, that
What about
sounds
you
fun.
guys?
Oh, fuck.
Lots of low effort costumes.
Yeah,
Eh?
Yeah.
I think I bought a Scream mask once.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I guess that counts as a costume.
Well, I think the most effort I went to for a costume is, I mean, this was, what was the late, not super late thousands, but maybe like 2007. It was like a movie themed party. And then, yes, of course, like I was going to go as Patrick Bateman, I think, but
Mhm.
then someone else was doing that. So I'm like, all right, I'll go as, there's this movie I really like called A Better Tomorrow. And it's basically just an old Asian shoot 'em up. And I really like the main character. I'm going to go as this guy.
Yeah.
And then I went, and then nobody recognized me because
Yeah.
I forgot. Oh
Oh.
yeah, like nobody knows Asian
If
cinema.
you haven't seen the
Oh,
film,
right.
it's basically a guy in a long trench coat
Yeah.
with sunglasses and a toothpick in his mouth.
and a lot of bullet holes in him.
So people kept guessing you were like Neo.
Yeah, I think so. Like people just thought I was. I don't
That's
know.
so true.
That
I
would
don't
make
know
sense.
if they guessed. They just thought, yeah, just some.
Because you need the soundtrack playing in the background.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Whenever you enter, and you need a dove to fly in front of you.
That's true.
That's why people
Oh.
aren't
That's a
getting
little
it.
more, a little extra cost there. Training the pigeons.
Yeah. That was probably the most effort I went for a costume.
Oh,
though.
you dressed up as Shaun from Shaun of the Dead once. That was pretty
Oh, did
good.
I? Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah, yeah.
I
That's
did
pretty
dress
cool.
up as Shaun for Shaun of the Dead. Yeah.
I think the most effort I put into costumes was during COVID, actually.
Oh,
Like when we
really?
were doing
Yeah.
Zoom parties with our Japanese
Oh,
friends
yeah,
in
I've seen you.
Halloween.
You dressed up as Malignant.
I dressed up as Backwards Boy from Malignant
Sick.
and Johnny Silverhand from Cyberpunk.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh, that
was
sounds like a
fun.
cool
Maybe
one.
we. I forget the effort that we
I think
did
you
go
guys are doing
for
better
some-
than you
yeah.
think.
Yeah.
These sound
Yeah,
great.
no, we did. I forgot about half of this stuff. Yeah.
I can empathize with you, Thavy, because I think Rhiannon and I know a lot about when you're like a film nerd going to Halloween as characters that nobody get. For some
yeah.
reason, we would always go really niche. Like, to be fair, it wasn't Halloween, but it's children in need at school in A-levels. And you'd like dress up. And we at the time were big Harry Potter nerds. So we went as our favorite characters, which were Remus and Sirius, but when they're young. And so Rhiannon had like werewolf scars. And the thing is that nobody got who we were, because why would you? Why would you guess it's a young Remus and Sirius? But we were so annoyed, like, God, no one understands what we've got. Why would anyone know? Why would anyone guess that? Yeah. I got annoyed when people asked if I was Hermione. That. Like, that's so reasonable.
Yeah, and then there's a point in the night where you just stop correcting people, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, you're like, yeah, that's exactly what I am. I think we did like Shrek together as like 4 of us.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys were so recognizable. Like someone was Shrek with a big Shrek mask, makes sense. You did Puss in Boots, very recognizable. I think someone was Donkey, and then I had to go as another one, so I did Prince Charming, and like no one got who I was, because of course, why would you guess that? It's when you're a nerd, you always choose the most niche costume, and you're so upset when no one gets it, but why would they?
Yeah, it's like, why do I not understand me?
The niche costumes are the best, though.
They are the best. I respect that. If I was there at that party and I was your guys' age, I would have respected that.
It's
Thank
all
you.
worth it when that one person gets it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it's like you found your people, right?
That's the gratification.
Yeah.
Speaking of movies, so one of you guys mentioned on one of your other episodes that I was listening to, that Halloween is the season for horror films and movies, but you guys are not particularly into the horror genre, or like what's your experience with like horror, or how scared are you when it comes to these kind of films, or what can you tolerate?
You're huge wimps.
Yeah, well, we kind of differ in the sense that I can do horror films that I can do like gore and psychological horror, but I can't do jump scares and supernatural stuff. And Margaret can do like jump scares and supernatural stuff, but she can't do like gore. And so we just never watch horror movies together, basically.
Yeah, normally they have at least one.
That's interesting.
The movie that we recommended today,
it's got a little bit of
a little bit of both.
Yeah, a little bit of both.
Yeah, a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I'd say you ruined both our nights, and I think that's really impressive.
That was the plan, right? Yeah.
What's the scariest movie you guys have seen, in your opinion?
I think maybe, I mean, it's scary. Again, my thing of scary is gore. It was probably Suspiria, like the most recent Suspiria.
Yeah. Oh, that's a pretty scary movie. Yeah.
I was not okay. I watched it like popping in and out of the room and was still not okay. Desperately not okay.
Yeah.
I love that movie. It's great.
It was cool, but not for me. What about you, Rhiannon?
Maybe it's, like the 20, or I can't remember, just the, the
2017.
one. Oh my God, I still have nightmares to this day about Pennywise. So many regrets.
Yeah.
That, to be fair, if you're not that into horror movies and you watch that, it's pretty scary.
It's scary, man. It's got lots of jump scares in it.
Big spooky.
I'm sure you're listening to this like that's like a kid's film. That's like the nicest film ever. But for me, it was horrible.
Big scary.
I mean, like, Georgie gets his arm ripped off at the start, which is pretty ballsy for like a horror film. Yeah. So no, that's pretty fair.
Okay.
Like, I've had people, friends who are scared of like the original Haunted Mansion with Eddie Murphy. That was like their scariest movie. So that's like that's you guys are pretty good with the. Yeah.
Okay, cool. We've passed again.
Yeah, I wouldn't say you guys are total wimps because those are like legitimately pretty scary films if you're not like horror, and they're both like really good movies as well. So yeah, you are film nerds.
That's great for my self-esteem. Thank you.
Good.
Thank
movies.
you. What about you guys?
Oh, it's a really tough one because
you're horror boys, right?
Yeah, we are horror guys. I've watched like a lot, and I'm pretty.
I wouldn't say I'm a horror guy.
Yeah, Dan, you don't like horror as much.
I didn't used to like it, but I think recently it has grown on me. I've
forced it on
There's
you,
been no choice there.
I've always considered horror as a bit of a, because the old stuff is pretty low budget stuff, right? And even these days it is pretty low budget. But like I always considered it as kind of like I want to say dated kind of genre. Like the classics like Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, like I didn't watch them when I was young, so I'm only watching them a lot later.
Yeah, and they're not that scary anymore.
Yeah, they don't hold up that well. I know they are classics, but to me, watching them like in the modern day for the first time, I'm like, I don't really see the appeal.
Yeah.
But then like recently, there's been kind of like this elevated horror genre and like a lot of good stuff coming from Jordan Peele as well.
Yeah.
So I think, more recently, horror has grown on me. Yeah.
I think like for me, I have like most disturbing, which would have been Cannibal Holocaust. And then probably
horrible
movie. Yeah.
I've heard a lot about that movie.
It's hard, not that scary, but it's fucking hard to watch. It makes you feel dirty. I wouldn't recommend it to you guys, but scariest, it's like it probably would have been the like original Ring. The original Ring remake was like the scariest. I think I mentioned this on a previous Halloween episode, but we had like a birthday party where I invited like a bunch of friends and they slept over and we watched The Ring, and it scared the shit out of us. And the next morning my TV broke and made weird noises. And then I was traumatized for like 2 weeks. And I couldn't sleep in my room.
And I was like, I'll see you later, Thavy.
Yeah, Dad just pissed off. Gonna find me dead in the closet. But like rewatching it, I don't find it that scary anymore because it's like, I've kind of grown older. But like recently, like I find there's like a pretty scary movie. I think I mentioned Skinamarink is pretty scary.
Oh yeah, Skinamarink. When you're like in a dark room by yourself.
That movie like made me not sleep for a couple of nights. I think a horror movie is successful when I have trouble sleeping because I look in the dark.
It's that lingering fear, huh?
Dan and I recently watched the Korean horror movie that we're gonna upload.
We did.
Yeah, we watched Gongjiam, which is pretty scary. But what about you, Dan? What's your scariest movie?
Well, I think the ones that impacted me the most were probably like the J-horror ones, just because they hit me at the right time. I think
Thai horror as well is really scary too.
Yeah, so things like The Grudge and The Ring. Yeah, like the Japanese ones, the original ones as well are really scary.
Yeah.
I think the movie that affected me the most though when I was growing up was called Event Horizon.
Oh yeah, that's right, Event Horizon.
Oh,
so what about a spaceship that goes to hell and comes back possessed and people do crazy things in it. And I just remember watching it as like a pretty young kid and just being traumatized by the level of gore. And
it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, that could fuck you up.
That movie fucked me up as well.
Yeah.
The scene where there's the blood orgy, as they call it.
Yeah.
They're watching it. Yeah. It's pretty fucked up,
But
guys.
then I remember watching it again as an adult and I'm like,
it's not that scary.
It's actually pretty boring.
Yeah.
Pretty boring film.
Yeah.
Yawn. Guy eating his own hand. Yawn.
Yeah. We are way too desensitized now, Dan.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that would still make me a little uncomfortable. I don't know why.
There's a
but it made me
Taiwanese
little
movie we always talk about called The Sadness, and that movie is like, compared to Event Horizon, that
movie is fucked up. Yeah. Our good friend Ming, who did the music for that movie.
Oh, really?
If you guys ever go up a level, actually, I don't think you guys will ever be able to watch this movie because it's pretty...
Event Horizon is like an episode of Scooby-Doo compared to The Sadness.
Yeah.
Comparison.
Actually, Scooby-Doo also traumatized me when I was a kid. There was a Scooby-Doo episode about a headless horseman, and that freaked me out. At one point, I remember vividly one of the characters is sleeping in a bed, and then a panel in the wall next to them opens up, and a ghostly white hand reaches out to them. And for the longest time, I couldn't sleep near a wall.
Really?
Because I was afraid of that happening to
me.
Yeah, I would sleep on the very edge of my bed, like the furthest possible spot you could get from the wall. Yeah.
So we can all agree, scariest movie is the live action Scooby-Doo.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm hearing.
Horrifying.
Definitely. Yeah.
Just absolutely terrifying.
All right. I guess we should just move on to the actual really spooky film that we're going to be talking about, A Tale of Two Sisters, which I mentioned earlier that this was released at the same time that Old Boy, Memories of Murder, which maybe you guys have heard of. I think it was Bong Joon-ho's, not his debut, but it was like his first movie that was really like critically acclaimed.
Okay.
So yeah, 2003. This is the 20th anniversary of this movie. And it was like, for anyone that is interested in Korean cinema, 2003 like was the year to like get into it.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, you guys watch Old Boy, which is probably the most popular one. So Tale of Two Sisters is probably like the least renowned of the three, but probably honestly like my favorite of the three films.
Really?
Yeah. So just upon like reevaluation, I can watch this movie like anytime. Like, I mean, it's no mystery that I really like this movie. I've got like, if you guys can see, I've got like almost every physical version of this movie that can exist.
Oh,
which
really?
is just on my laptop. Yeah. So
yeah.
I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to this movie.
All
Like,
these
very
come
much.
with commentaries and behind the scenes footage that Thavy has poured through laboriously.
Yes.
So he has a lot of stuff to say about this film.
Yeah.
I
So
can't
sorry
wait.
if I geek out.
It's got a lot of
No,
information.
please do. I was
Yeah,
so
I'm-
confused,
I'm-
so I'd love to hear any explanation possible.
Yes.
Are
there's
we
yeah.
just doing spoilers for this film, Thavy?
Yeah,
or-
there's definitely going to be. This is not a movie you can really talk about unless
I mean, it's
you
a
talk about
20-year-old
spoilers.
film. So
Yeah.
if you're listening to this and you haven't watched it yet, treat yourself before listening to this
Yeah,
episode.
yeah. It's-
Because we'll
it's
probably
worth it.
be doing full spoilers. And there are a lot of things to spoil in this film.
Yeah, it's
I would
definitely.
say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The first time I heard about this movie, I saw it at like the DVD shop a few times. And I thought, oh, this looks pretty cool. And then I think you had seen it, Dan.
Mm.
And then I was like, oh, like, do you know anything about this movie? And you're like, oh, yeah, I've seen it. It's pretty boring. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess I won't watch it. Then.
Oh, no.
And then I didn't watch it for
Dad,
years.
why? What did you do?
I think I
Yeah.
mentioned it a couple of times, and then I remember it being pretty boring. And then I never
Damn.
watched it until I had a mate of mine. What we used to do is I would go to his house and we would just binge watch tons of Asian horror movies because we just wanted the scares. And we had like, it was like Halloween every time I was over there. We had all these snacks and like Coke and just all shit that was bad for you. And we would just sit till like 6 a.m. in the morning and watch horror movies.
Mm.
And I think we just chucked on Tale of Two Sisters at one point, and we were nearly not going to watch it because I'm like, oh yeah, my friend said this is pretty boring, but I guess
God damn it, Dan.
we'll watch it. And it ended up being like, we were just like really stunned by this movie. And like, its impact is still felt for me, like
Yeah.
to this day. Like when I watch it, like it's really, as you can see, it's probably one of those movies you can rewatch because there's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, but I mean, you guys just recently watched the film. Like, just what is your kind of just initial reaction to it? I guess. Like,
Did you
what do
find
think?
it boring?
Did you find it boring, like Dan?
Rhiannon, do you want to verbalize your letterboxd review?
I think my letterbox review was just what the fuck. That was
Which
it.
was definitely our old boy letterboxd review. So there's
Yeah.
consistency here.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck? Yeah, I guess Koreans back in 2003 were very what the fuck. Memories of Murder is a little bit what the fuck.
Mm.
I liked it though. I enjoyed it.
What were some of the things that kind of like stuck out for you?
I mean, well, we watched it together again because we needed
Yes.
moral support after
Yes.
the last one.
Thank God we did.
Well, was it scary? Actually,
It was
that's a
it was
good- that's a good
definitely
question.
scary. I was scared, and there were points where I was like muting it and like hiding behind my like
Yeah.
blanket. I
I was watching it
scared.
through my cardigan.
Yeah, and I like, because obviously there's a good few jump scares in there. There's just some good scenes that are just actually scary. But
Yeah.
Mm.
I think what just stuck out for me is just how we were just sitting there for an hour and a half, just like, what is the twist? What is it? And we were just so ready for it by the time it
They
came.
do take their time.
Yeah, and I think it was worth it. I think it definitely paid off well, but that's the main feeling that I can like remember from what we watched it, just that like anticipation, you know?
Yeah.
Mm.
Did you guess the twist? Like, did you like? What were you thinking?
I tried my
What was
damn
the-
best,
what was-
but I don't think we did.
You
I threw
threw
out so many ideas.
Ah.
Yeah, every 2 minutes you were like, this person's dead, this person's evil. And we were like, but I don't think you got it.
Well, the trick is there is more than one twist, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yes.
pretty hard to guess both of them.
There's
I
two
definitely
twists in this
still
film.
have questions, but I did like every time they revealed something, you're going back through every scene and thinking, wait, so what was happening with that? And that was That was fun. I've thought about every scene at least like 2 or 3 times, and I'm still confused, but it made each time I thought about it more interesting. So yeah, I'd say I was satisfied, even if I was kind of shitting myself sometimes.
I guess my next question, I'll tie it into my explanation of why I initially found it boring.
Yeah, please justify
I'm gonna try and
the
defend
stance.
myself here. So I think I watched it. My memory of it is pretty hazy, but I think I watched it at around the same time I saw The Ring and The Grudge, like during that J-horror boom as well.
Yeah.
And this movie is not what I would consider a traditional horror movie. I think there is a lot more world building in it and a lot more build up, especially in the front end of it, maybe. And the scares are pretty few and far between. So I think just my expectation of what an Asian horror was probably not this film. And for that reason, I probably found it boring.
That's fair. It
The
is
first
slow.
time I watched it. I probably didn't have like the
you were
cinematic
like-
eye as well.
We were pretty young. when we watched
Yeah.
this movie.
So probably not enough to recognize like the things like the score and the cinematography and things like that. So I was very like narratively focused, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, upon rewatch, like it's obviously a good film,
Yeah.
a very
really?
expertly made film.
He got there in the end.
Yeah, but I mean, even like now, if I were to recommend this film, I probably wouldn't recommend it to somebody that's looking for a movie like The Nun, you know, or like a
Right,
like a popcorn horror
popcorn
film, which
horror.
are fine. Like,
Yeah.
they are really enjoyable to watch as well. And I know a lot of horror fans that are just interested in only watching those kinds of horrors exclusively, right? Whereas this film, it's not really that experience.
Yeah, because I was actually going to ask you guys, and I think you've already answered the question, but like, I was going to ask you guys, like, would you classify this as like a horror movie or like a good horror movie? But you guys were scared, so I assume you would classify it as horror.
Is it what you guys were expecting?
It's definitely more of a thriller than I thought, but it has enough scary, like kind of bloody stuff that I think it does work as a horror movie, but it feels like a thriller for quite a long time, which is cool. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, I think it was what I was expecting. I was expecting like some like jump scares, some kind of spooky stuff, and I was expecting like a big twist and some more like psychological kind of elements to it. So it was kind of what I was expecting.
Yeah, this movie, like amongst film aficionados, it is like a pretty top tier film. And like, yeah, for me, it's like one of my, probably like in my top 5 favorite movies. Maybe almost my favorite Korean movie, if I really think
Really?
about it. But
Wow.
Damn.
yeah, like I like this movie more than Old Boy, which is
Damn.
which some people might find odd because Old Boy has like, you know,
Right.
Odessu smashing people with a hammer. But I think just to me, watching this movie for the first time, maybe like 13 years ago, I think it would have been 2009 when I first watched this movie. I was immediately, and I was like dead tired. It was like 4 a.m. And this was like the last movie that we were going to watch. And what struck me immediately was just like the sheer brilliance of the cinematography and the production design, and the space. It's like the space itself is a character of its own in the movie. And I was just like, wow, how can anyone like put this much effort into like a horror movie, you know? Because we were at the time, we just wanted like non-stop jump scares.
Yeah.
Right.
But even though like this movie is quite slow, it is like, for me, it's still very like entertaining just to watch all the elements come together, like the fantastic performances from the lead actresses, all 3 of them.
Yeah.
The score, like,
I love the
is
music.
fantastic. It is so good, and it's just like, yeah, probably my most like favorite moment in the movie is like I guess we're talking spoilers already, kind of the first twist when you find out that Suyeon is not actually alive. So like, what was your like reaction to that first twist? Like, was it surprising to you guys?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were sitting there like, what? Oh
I was
my
not expecting
God.
a Sixth Sense moment. I was really not, but it was sick.
Yeah.
It was very cool.
Yeah, it was a good twist.
I
It
had no
was.
idea.
It's,
Yeah.
it's a good reveal.
What about you guys?
Yeah, it's a good reveal. Yeah, no, I didn't pick it at all. But like, it's funny because this movie is basically the Fight Club effect. You know, you're shocked the first time, but then when you rewatch it, you can just see very like different things, like the way that their clothes, like their color palettes are inverted, and just the way that like frames cut them off, and the way that the dad never explicitly like talks to Soo-yeon as well.
Yeah, Margaret there
is
as
quite
well.
like
Yeah, he never addresses her directly. And as soon as I reveal, it's like, oh shit,
Yeah.
he doesn't, does he? He never did.
yeah. He's like, oh, I had the twist, but yeah. Like, I wanted to get onto this point because like I think it is like probably for me like the most powerful moment in the film, because obviously, you know, all movies are flawed, even like the most perfect one. Like, because this movie is basically told from Sumi's point of view throughout the whole film. But we get to like Soo-yeon, who is basically like alive, and then finding out that she's dead. And then it's probably like the best use of shaky cam in the non-fight scene where like the reality of her existence is crumbling. And I think the way that the actress portrays it is that she is alive, even though she is just part of like a subconscious of Sumi.
Yeah.
And I think it's quite accurate because like I was like really into like studying like lucid dreaming a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And I got really good at it to a point where like in your dreams, you can like start conversations with like the people in your dreams, like your subconscious. And I noticed that if you change things around too much, it's like it literally starts to crumble.
It's like that Inception
yeah.
effect,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
When,
it's the
when you
Inception
start
effect.
getting too sus or your
Yeah,
subconscious
yeah.
avatars are like, hang on a second.
But it's just so interesting how alive your subconscious really is.
Yeah.
Like, because they're basically just you. You're talking to yourself, but you're having like these weird conversations with yourself. And it's like, even if I think about it, even in the dream, sometimes like I've actually told people like, do you know that you're not real or something? And some people react pretty differently.
Yeah.
And it's weird. It's a weird thing. So this scene really resonated to me because it's like just to realize that you are not alive, I think is just like pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And just really fucking sad as well. And I think it gets me, like, it makes me tear up when I watch it. I'm even like choking up a bit now just thinking about it. Maybe I'll pass it to you, Dan, before I turn into a mess. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an effective reveal, I would say. I think the fact that the movie is pretty odd leading up to it, you know, makes it really hard to predict because, yeah, you kind of don't really know what's going on for a lot of the time because there's like ghosts as well, right?
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
house is
Also
legit
ghosts.
haunted as well.
No, there's some ghosts here,
yeah. So like you are always led to believe that it's just a haunted house situation, kind of. And then there's the thing with the stepmom, I guess, is like what's she up to kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I guess the point of view is also pretty unreliable. Like it opens up with Sumi being questioned in a psychiatric ward of some kind, right?
Yeah.
And then she kind of recounts the events that led to her being in the psychiatric ward. So you're like, okay, so probably an unreliable narrator as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, when it does hit you, it's like, it's kind of like, oh yeah, of course, but also, yeah, you can't really pick it. I don't think it had the same emotional impact as it seems to have had for you, Thavy, but definitely in terms of like a surprise, it did hit me. Yeah, but how about you guys? Were you kind of confused for some of this movie?
All of this movie.
Or a lot of the movie?
Still
All
confused.
of the movie, okay.
Still currently confused.
So like, yeah, I guess the revelation that she is dead, did that kind of fill in some of the gaps for you guys, or did it just make you guys more confused?
More confused. Definitely. Well,
More confused.
the question that we were trying to answer was what happened to the mum. And
Yeah.
that and obviously the reveal that the sister is dead, that just added more questions onto our list of questions. You know?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, Soo-young wasn't confusing me much. The fact that she was dead kind of made sense. The like subconscious of it all made sense. It's the stepmom that keeps confusing me.
Yeah.
That to this day I still have no idea what the fuck was really going on. Soo-young made sense to me. It's the second plot twist that I felt like it all anything like any attempt I had at making a little like ball of elastics just fell apart, and it was like sand in my hands, and I did not know what was happening in a cool way. But I felt like I lost my grasp on the movie after that.
Yeah. Well, to try to maybe make it a bit clearer, like the movie, it's based off of like an old Korean folklore tale called Jongwa Honbyeon, and it's basically like kind of like a fairy tale where Sumi and Soo-yeon are like sisters, and they have like an evil stepmother, of course, and like I think the stepmother like wants to get rid of them, so she makes one of them believe that she had like a miscarriage, and then like the daughters basically end up killing themselves, and then they come back as ghosts, and then they eventually get like the stepmother, because the stepmother's having like an affair with their dad, but then they come back as ghosts, and they kind of tell the townspeople that the stepmother's like no good.
Right.
Then, the stepmother gets executed. That's kind of that in a nutshell. But the stepmother, obviously, for most of the film until that final reveal, is not actually in the movie. It's just kind of like the manifestation of Sumi's trauma,
Right?
And her creating this character for her to blame Soo-yeon's death on, and kind of for her to have a fantasy of like rescuing Soo-yeon as well.
Right.
So, but I think the relationship is that their mother was really sick, and the stepmother was a carer, but then the father started having an affair with the carer, and then they ended up falling in love, and then Sumi and Soo-yeon, obviously didn't like it, and the stepmother didn't like it, which leads to a very like tragic event, and also like the end as well, when Soo-yeon finds their mother, who is like ODing on pills and choking herself in the closet, and then the closet falls on her, and then like the stepmother almost has a conscience to save Soo-yeon, and then Sumi just comes out, and it's like,
it's brutal.
The bit,
it is
so
very,
brutal.
very tragic.
The bit, and then like the stepmother says, like, this moment might be something you will regret for the rest of your life, and I was just like, oh man,
You fucking bitch.
you bitch. But it's just like, I was like,
But I guess the fact that 3 out of the 4 characters in the house for the majority of the movie is just one character, right?
Yeah.
So, the fact that the dad doesn't really address the stepmom or Soo-yeon, it makes sense, but he would have been so confused. Like for me, the dad is like the perspective of the audience. It's like, what is going on?
Well,
and he's just having the worst time as well, you know?
I
just
assume
always
that
looks
like
upset.
that he knew that like because she was in the hospital beforehand, so that she did develop like schizophrenia.
Yeah. But you know, there's like that awkward dinner scene, the most awkward dinner you can
I was
have.
going to ask if you could explain that scene, actually. 'Cause now I'm confused.
Yeah.
Could you explain the dinner scene?
So the dinner scene, like they're having dinner with like, that's supposed to be the stepmother's like family, like the brother and his wife.
Okay.
So that's why when she's telling this story, because she like, it is Sumi as a stepmother telling the story of like something that happened to them when they were like little, and they're kind of just like looking at her weird because it never happened.
She just made it up.
She just made it up.
Right.
And then it's just like, that's why he's like, nah, that's fucked. It's like, what are you talking about? And it's basically like, I think the things that are not clear is whether the house is haunted or not, or whether it's just like the ghosts in their mind.
Because at the dinner, the guy's fiance or wife has a seizure of some kind.
Yeah.
And then when they're driving home, she recounts seeing like a ghost under the sink, right?
Yeah.
That freaked me out the first time I saw it.
I actually think that's the scariest scene in the movie with the actress playing the stepmother and the acting with her eyes just like looking left. It's like, it's fantastic, man. It's good.
I guess like for the first portion of the film, it does kind of play out as a haunted house story because prior to that event, Sumi also sees a ghost while she's sleeping, right?
Yeah.
So I guess it's to lead the audience on this belief that it is it's just purely a haunted house story.
Yeah.
But then when the first twist kicks in and you realize that a lot of it is taking place in Sumi's mind, you're like, oh, maybe the house isn't haunted. Maybe it's just, maybe the ghosts are also a manifestation, right? Even though outside forces claim to have seen ghosts as well. Like maybe that's not completely reliable because she was having a seizure at the time. But then the second twist kicks in and it turns out, there actually are ghosts as well. It's both things. Yeah.
Well, what do you guys think? Do you think there are actually ghosts in this movie?
I mean, it seems like there's a ghost. Is it not Soo-young as a ghost coming back? Because isn't it like a little girl? I don't know if that's just my interpretation, if that's what it was. Is that an interpretation of it? I don't know. Because the stepmother getting got at the end, that's real, right? Yeah, so she just died.
So, yeah, Kim Jee-woon said, like, there are actually ghosts in this movie. So he did, like, represent, the stepmother getting got in the end, as we say. So it's like, but he's kind of trying to make it as a metaphor in a sense that, like, the stepmother also feels guilt for what she has done.
That would make sense.
Because obviously the Sumi's interpretation or personality of the stepmother is like just a crazy ass bitch. But then when the actual stepmother comes, she's like, seems like a decent person.
Yeah.
Like what she did is not good. But like, I mean, we as humans, we're not always perfect people. We do things that are probably, not morally correct.
I don't know. It's still manslaughter though, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that falls under like we all have bad days and I let the child suffocate.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Fair, legally, that's not illegal. What the stepmom did, I mean, in British law anyways, what the stepmom did was not illegal because it's just an omission. She didn't cause any of those events to happen. She just didn't help, and you can't actually get charged for that. I'm using my law degree for once in my life.
Success.
She technically hasn't committed a crime.
There you go. But
I don't know.
That's not.
It's still horrific
I don't
and
love
morally bad.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And I don't think that's a defense against ghosts anyway. The ghosts are still going to get you, whether it's illegal activities or
So she's still a shitty person who did that terrible thing. She's just not. She just is a more normal acting person in real life and not as evil as Sumi makes her out to be. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, but sorry, can I ask another question? I'm still a bit confused.
Yeah, go
At the
for
dinner
it.
table scene, is that scene real? And
Scene is real.
Is it Sumi who's doing everything and just looks like the stepmother?
It's only Sumi.
Okay.
Yeah, it is Sumi doing everything. So, and if you rewatch the movie and you see any scene with the stepmother before the reveal, it is Sumi. So it is Sumi, like, kind of sleeping with her dad.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. That immediately comes to mind.
Yeah, because it is like, and you might be thinking, gee, another fucking incest movie, Thavy. Like, what's wrong with you?
Yep. When she was struck in Dad's face, I was like, what have they done again? They've given us another movie where she's going to fuck her dad.
There's a theme going on here, guys.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't be talking to you guys. I don't know.
She doesn't fuck her dad, fortunately.
Success.
So he obviously knows there's something weird. And like, you can kind of tell, like, there's a really brilliant frame where there's two mirrors. And then like, you see the stepmother, who is Sumi, like kind of getting dressed and she's in the bed. And then the father like walks in and they like look at each other, but like they're looking at each other in the space of the movie. But on the frame, it's like they're looking away from each other from the mirror. So that's kind of a sign where it's like something's not right. And also the bit where it's like the stepmother is just watching static, empty static on a TV.
Yeah.
If you remember that scene. And it's just like, man, this is it's not something not wrong.
Yeah, maybe I should have clocked it.
It's good though because it portrays the stepmom as a bit of an unhinged character as well, which I think is quite effective because again, it's kind of subverting the audience's expectations. It's like because the stepmom is portrayed as like this villainous, unhinged character, you kind of assume there's just an adversarial, like relationship between the two. Also because she's fucking abusive as well.
Yeah.
So then when it turns out that they're actually the same person, it's like, oh shit, it's crazy.
Yeah. But,
That's crazy.
That is
going
crazy.
to the scare factor of the movie, what was like the scariest scene for you guys? What was the scene where it was like, nah, I'm not watching it moment?
I think it is the hand under the sink, right? Because they draw it out for so long. And there are so many times when you think it's going to happen that by the time it does, you've been hidden behind your pillow for like 5 minutes.
So when the stepmom is kind of reaching for the hairpin,
Yeah, the
Yeah.
hairpin. Yeah.
and then the hand grabs her. Yeah.
Fucking spooky, man.
I didn't even look. I didn't see it.
So was that real? I feel like I have this question for every scene of the movie. Was that real? I don't... Was Sumi encountering the ghost?
That might have been real, right?
Or was the stepmom
That
encountering the
was-
ghost?
That was real. I think
It would have been Sumi.
my interpretation is that it's the ghost trying to like reach Sumi,
Mm.
because there's never really like the ghost never intends the lead character's harm, even though
Right.
it's trying to reach them in the most scariest way
Even though it's
possible.
fucking spooky.
It's like a little friendly grab. He's trying to say hi.
It's just a misunderstanding.
He's trying to be like, hey,
Yeah.
He's
bro.
trying to say hi.
Oh, that's sad.
It's like, oh,
So is it Soo-young? Is that the interpretation? Is that what we're supposed to believe the ghost is? If she never hurt Sumi.
yeah. There's two ghosts in the house. It's the mother and Soo-yeon.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think they're both trying to reach Sumi. So, I mean, you could argue that these scenes are just there to put scares in.
Sure.
Because like I think during the conception of the film and like just talking, they're like, yeah, because they were saying like when they were making the movie, they're like it didn't feel like they were shooting a horror movie. It felt like they were shooting like a tragedy until they actually shot those scenes. So they're admittedly probably there to just like, entertain a little bit. But it's
Right.
also like there's definitely like I interpret it as like the ghost trying to reach like Sumi, saying like, you
Hey, girl.
you're delusional, basically.
Oh.
Just
Yeah.
like
I'm the
Just-
ghost
it
and
just-
you're not okay.
you're
You're the one who's delusional.
Basically. that's pretty much what they're saying. Yeah.
These ghosts got to learn how to communicate better.
I think it was actually the bag of like dismembered parts that freaked me out the most, and like the fight that occurred after it.
Oh,
Actually, I think that's what freaked.
yeah.
I didn't like that at all.
Yeah.
Oh,
went
you
up
didn't
with
like
the-
that.
Did not
Why?
appreciate-
That's very curious.
Did not appreciate the image, and also by that
The
point,
Hessian sack.
oh, I don't like
Yeah.
it.
No, it's a pretty disturbing image. We've seen it in Audition as well.
Yeah, I think it's a throwback to another movie that you guys probably won't watch. Called,
Sounds good.
Have you heard of Audition?
I think I have.
Yeah, it's a pretty gnarly, pretty popular Japanese horror film from
Okay.
97 or 99. Yeah.
Mm.
It is. That movie is also like not much happens until like the climax
Mm.
where, it's brutal. If you
Does
don't like,
it does involve a Hessian sack.
yeah.
With unspeakable things inside it. Yeah.
Yeah. And consumption of puke, which is,
Ooh.
not, that's
Ooh,
kind
no.
of
No.
my gross out.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
I
thank
don't like
you.
that.
Yeah, I think from Rhiannon's
Thanks.
reaction,
But-
we won't be watching that movie.
no.
We'll give that one a respectful miss.
Yeah. But it's a good movie as well. But
So you didn't like that scene?
I mean, it was cool. I mean, especially thinking back and imagining how it's Sumi trying to rationalize, staying within her own comfortable world, rationalize her sister being dead, and how it's still somehow the evil stepmother's fault, and her obviously like fighting with herself. I guess she was a little
Yeah, is
action
she
sequence
beating
where
herself up?
is she just hitting herself?
Yeah, is it like a liar situation where he's just
And then like drops a statue on herself.
I think she does stab her. Like she's fighting herself,
Right.
and she
Aw.
does. I guess she does stab herself with the
Aw.
scissors.
Yeah.
That's just
And like
sad.
it is it is really sad. Like because just I think the stepmother like towers over like Sumi, and she's just kind of like she's just saying just like she needs help me,
Yeah.
and then like
Parallels.
it's just like it's sad, man. This movie is like
This movie gets
it's really
sad.
sad.
We by the end we were like, we're not scared, we're just depressed.
Yeah.
Sad
We
movie.
sat there for like 10 minutes just
Fucking
like,
hell.
oh my god, that kid. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
but- yeah, no, that they lingered so much on Soo-young dying that we felt was a little unnecessary. Like, we get it, she's dead. I don't need to keep
Oh,
seeing the
yeah.
hand and the
The
noises
the
and like
nails, like
fucking
yeah,
hell.
Yeah.
I get it, but fuck
Yeah.
me, we get it.
Yeah, that was Kim Jee-woon's like main goal. He's like he wanted to make a horror movie that was sad.
Success.
So scary.
Congratulations.
Scary and sad was his
Bravo.
direction.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
succeeded.
Oh, he succeeded very much. Yeah, it's interesting because Kim Jee-woon, he's a director that often plays around with genre quite a bit. We did another movie of his with Blockbusters, another podcast, and we also traumatized those guys. So we have a theme.
The crimes continue.
we kind of traumatize a lot of our guests, but that's all right. That just makes people want to come back because we just
clearly. I mean, clearly we can't say it doesn't because we're here. We did have a moment after the movie where I turned around and was like, should we block these guys? Why do they keep making us watch these movies? Is this toxic?
You know what? We wouldn't blame you if you decided to block us ultimately.
Fair. Yeah.
But no, like it is a terribly sad film. But I think that also comes through in the cinematography and the music.
Yeah.
100% the music plays a part because it's
there's
just
like soft guitars.
very
it didn't
mournful
feel like a horror
scores.
soundtrack. It was, I don't know. It was really
It does
beautiful.
sometimes, I think. Like during the scary bits, I guess.
Yeah.
It's the
It does like the
typical,
string
yeah.
noises
You know,
and shit.
the
Yeah.
tension building. Like there's a bit where I think Sumi is sleeping, and then the typical Asian ghost lady rocks up on her, and it is like that. You know, it's a pretty typical scene for an Asian ghost movie, right? Like it's a pale ghost with the white dress and long black hair, and it's that kind of like steadily increasing like strings, I guess. So it is scary when it needs to be, but then when it gets sad, it gets sad.
It gets real
Yeah.
sad.
It gets really sad. Actually, I wanted to ask you guys about like, what do you think about like the setting and like the production design of the film? Like, how would you describe it?
Would you
What do
want
you
to
think,
stay in
Arnold?
this house?
No, thank you. Oh no, not on my Airbnb list. Thank
I
you
like
very
the
much.
house.
I'll
Not for
give
one
that a miss.
awkward dinner?
Oh, Rhiannon loved the house. To be fair, you
like
you
the
really
house.
liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was lovely.
It's a nice
Interesting
house, huh?
architecture.
A bit too many
spooky, but
ghosts,
it's
but lovely.
Yeah, I won't take the ghost, but I'll take the house.
I mean, atmospherically, it's a nice isolating location. It's very dark,
Yeah.
and the wallpaper's very intense. It's always the houses with the wallpaper in these horror movies. They've always
Yeah.
got the weirdest wallpaper. But I felt like they did a really good job of like laying out the house in your minds. Like you really got the 3D space, and you really felt like you knew
Yeah.
the house, which always helps whenever you keep hearing the noises like upstairs, downstairs. I thought it was a nice like isolating location.
Would you say that the particular design or the furniture of the house is Eastern or Western?
Are you leading me somewhere? Is there like a fun fact that you're leading
I'm
me to?
just curious. Like,
Okay.
kind of like, yeah.
I feel like you're
have you
leading me
guys-
to a
have you
really
guys-
fun fact.
Have you
Yeah.
guys seen or been in a house like this before? Like, did it feel familiar to you guys?
No, I don't
Not
think so.
particularly.
Not really.
Is it meant to
Okay.
be like a really Western design?
I'm just looking around at Tavi's house right now, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah, my house is pretty
similar
similar.
decor.
Yeah. But
Shit.
it's interesting because because to me, Gothic horror is like the big aesthetic influence for the design of the house.
Okay.
But a lot of the furniture is not really rooted in Asia. A lot of it is like Victorian era, like from the
Right.
UK or European. Like I think they call the wallpapers like William Morris wallpaper.
Yeah, they are William Morris.
Because I think the original folktale Zhonghua Hongrian, it's like Red Lotus and another flower, which I don't know, like something, but like it's really interesting because when I watch it, I'm like, this is a distinctly Asian house, but none of the furniture is like Asian per se. And I think that's because like a lot of kind of bourgeoisie Asians will make their house look more Western, but kind of do it in a like kind of an Asian way, I guess.
Okay.
It's funny because this fashion for Korea was probably influenced by like Japanese occupation. And during that time, it would have been like Meiji era, like Japanese
Right.
colonialists like
Yeah.
influencing like Korea. We recently watched a Korean Western on Netflix, and you'll probably notice in that show, Dan, there's a lot of like that Western
Oh yeah,
furniture.
100%. Yeah.
but like even if you go to like any country, even Laos where we come from, Dan, or Vietnam, any country that has had like occupation
yeah.
from like France or whatever, like if you go to these houses, and I've stayed in houses like this, which are
Yeah.
pretty scary because I watch movies like this, but
Yeah.
they very much look like how they do in this movie.
Yeah.
Right.
And usually when you enter a house like this, it's like they've come from money.
Yeah.
And like it's a character in itself because you know that the family is quite rich.
Right.
I think even
yeah.
today, the West is still positioned as
yeah,
like a
definitely.
source of wealth or
Yeah.
of like a
Affluence.
Yeah.
Mm.
So like the architecture is definitely Western, but I think like maybe the arrangement of the knickknacks is kind of like gives Asian vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's so
Because it
interesting.
is quite cluttered sometimes.
You guys should watch a
Yeah.
movie called The Handmaiden. That's another pretty
Oh,
intense
I've been
watch.
recommended that
Oh,
before.
that's been on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
It's really good. Same director as Oldboy, but
Oh,
maybe
right.
more or less fucked up.
Yeah.
But
It's pretty fucked up.
it's pretty fucked up. It's not as fucked up as Oldboy, but it gets messed up. But a lot of the decor, you can just see that influence of like Japanese occupation, but then like the kind of Korea trying to like hold its ground a bit. So it's kind of a mixture, and you can kind of see that. And yeah, it's just kind of influenced a lot of what households in Asia,
Right.
like rich Asian households. So I just find that very interesting
Yeah.
and very like just very authentic. And yeah,
And
it's-
as a setting
Right.
for a spooky ghost story, it's pretty effective as well.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I guess you can kind of liken it to other haunted house films.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Like it kind of reminds me of films like The Lady in Black, I guess.
Mm.
Oh,
Like that kind of
Wait,
setting.
Woman in Black?
Yeah.
Is that the movie?
The
Or is
Woman
it a
in Black,
different
Yeah,
one?
that's it,
yeah.
yeah, it's got Harry Potter in
The
it.
one with Harry Potter, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's very Gothic Victorian.
Yeah. But still kind of has like an Asian flavor to it, I guess.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. I didn't know anything about that history. That's super interesting. But I suppose it makes sense as to why the house kind of feels a bit surreal. If it's trying to have like an Asian feel, but also a
yeah.
Western feel to it, it can kind of feel a bit unsettling and surreal. That's really interesting. That
So-
makes sense. Yeah, there are some parts
Yeah.
about it that felt a bit familiar, I guess.
Yeah, this is apparently the fourth or fifth iteration of the Zhonghua Hongleon folktale.
Okay.
But like there's only one version that actually exists before this one that is watchable, while the other ones were just like lost to time
Oh,
because
shit. Aw.
yeah, when Korea was occupied by Japan, yeah, they basically like destroyed all the films.
Aw.
Yeah, so they tried to like stamp out like Korean nationality.
Right.
So a lot of like movies from the 50s and 60s are just lost,
Oh,
and
that
like you can never
sucks.
watch them.
Yeah.
So it is kind of sad. Yeah.
yeah.
But they were just saying like in those ones, like the settings are very distinctly like Joseon era. So that's like not ancient Korea, but like at least 500 years ago
right.
Korea. So it's like the more traditional Korean, whereas this one, it's like, it is very kind of a modernized Asian look. Yeah.
Mm.
So I just find that
Interesting.
like pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's cool.
I was going to ask you, like, who are like your favorite performances in this movie?
Oh, I love the stepmother. What a slay. Oh, I was obsessed. I don't know the actress, but she's awesome. She was
Actress's
giving.
name is Yum Jung-ah.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with her.
Yeah. She was great.
Just giving 1,000%. What a slay. She was just so funny and so creepy.
Yeah.
I loved it.
It's funny because it's technically not her. It's Sumi.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. No.
I guess credit to Sumi.
Yeah. But yeah, I think for me, it's the stepmother's performance is probably my favorite as well. That actress. Yeah. Because all the actresses from this movie went to have pretty successful careers.
Oh, that's
So
good.
this was like a launching pad.
Yeah.
Whereas like, I think the stepmother, she kind of was a bit more of a late bloomer. She didn't get really too many roles after this one.
Right.
Until kind of like later in her life. She did kind of steal the show, even though like you are following Sumi for most of it. And she's the protagonist. You feel for her. But like, yeah, this I think Jung-ah, is that the actress name?
Mhm.
Yeah, she did the best.
She's doing the most.
But what about you, Dan? You like the dad, didn't you, Dan?
I did enjoy the dad's
Hell yeah.
performance as
Let's go.
just a guy that's just had a gutful, you know. He's just having the worst time.
He's just so
Yeah.
tired.
just trying to navigate this situation.
We were a bit
Yeah,
obsessed
he
with
was
it.
really
He's
cracking
got
us
like
up.
a really good, like, long face. you
Yeah,
know? He says a lot with his face.
Oh, and the wig was wigging.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Yeah.
wig was
Yeah.
wigging so hard. I loved it.
Love it. But no, I think the actress that plays Soo-yeon was really good as well.
I mean, just
Moon
again,
Gun-young.
that first reveal.
She's
That's
such a
lot.
cute kid.
Like, yeah.
She does such a good job of being
It's
so
funny.
fucking cute.
Yeah. More fun facts. Like, because on the DVD, there's like a commentary between the actresses and the director, and there's like scenes where like the actress herself was like starting to cry during watching the movie herself.
Oh no.
And then there's a bit where the director's just like, all right, stop crying now. That's kind of funny.
Fucking
But
hell.
there's a really like sweet featurette between I think what he asked them to do was for the actress who plays Sumi Im Soo-jung, he asked them to write a letter in character if she was writing a letter to Soo-yeon. And it was like this really like poetically sweet note, like, you know, like, oh, I love you, sister, even though like I miss you and I feel like I should have done this and that. But then the actress who plays Soo-yeon, I think she misinterpreted the brief and she wrote it as like just herself working on the movie. And she's like, yeah, I got to eat like really nice sweets all the time and everyone was really lovely on set. And you can kind of see like the difference in like I guess the person, because apparently like she was just always very cheerful on set, and she's like she's our age now, Dan, like Moon
Oh, God,
Gun-young.
yeah.
Well,
Wow.
she started acting when she was very young, right?
Yeah, she would have been like 16 in this role.
But
Damn.
even before that, I think she started as a child actress.
She went really popular.
Yeah, she's good.
Good for her.
Very, very sweet girl. Yeah. Oh, actually, just on the characters themselves, like, I guess, I mean, there's only one main character, but as like the three characters, like they are all women. And like, as you know, you guys yourselves as women,
Indeed.
how do you think they're like portrayed in this movie? Because there are some like themes in there that may or may not like reciprocate well or were well, but like, you know, I'm just throwing the ball to you guys.
That is interesting, yeah, because a lot of classic movies don't center around women very often. And you said this movie was made by a man, right?
Yeah.
So that's always interesting. And I suppose it's refreshing after Old Boy, where the women are kind of not thought of, and when thought of are kind of more just like objectified. But yeah, I like that it was so centered around women. I mean, it's particularly stuff with like periods that come up that Rhiannon and I were like, I wonder what Dan and Thavy are thinking about the symbolism of the periods. Because I suppose it means different things to different people. I still don't know if I quite remember, or I suppose the whole period syncing thing was meant to be a hint that it's the same person getting their period and it's not two people getting their periods. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if I fully have any analysis as to why they added it. Was it just like a womanhood thing?
So that happens the first time she sees the ghost, right?
Yeah.
And then she wakes up with blood on her sheets.
I think Margaret, you pretty much like pinned the nail on the hammer. I don't think there's too much more symbolism.
Okay.
I mean, it is something that happens. Well, it is a nod to the original folklore where like what the stepmother does to accuse the daughter of having a miscarriage and shaming her is that she gets one of her sons to like butcher a rat and then make it look like a dead fetus. So when they lift it up, it's like a dead fetus. So it is somewhat of a nod to the original folklore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it is just used as a device to hint that they are the same person. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I suppose also just like it's a horror movie, so you gotta have like extra blood. Why not? It's a bit weird. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know.
But do you think they were like well written characters?
Yeah, I'd say so.
I think they were given a lot of like depth and empathy.
I don't know, all the horror that I'm familiar with, like horror movies to me feel like quite like a female-centric kind of genre. Because obviously you have like the term of the final girl, and I guess Sumi was the final girl, and kind of also every girl.
She was the only girl.
She was every girl and the final girl. Yeah, so like, I don't know, I opened up this horror movie and saw it was like led by women, and I was like, yeah, this kind of makes sense to me. This kind of feels right, you know?
It's interesting because like the director, when this movie was first released, he was kind of criticized a little bit for some of like, there's a lot of shots of like bare legs and bare feet. And then people were like, does the director have like a leg fetish or something? And he like didn't even realize that he had done this. He's just like, oh nah, like, you know, it's just part of the movie.
It's just a coincidence. What are you talking about?
Yeah. But yeah, there were a lot of theories that like were going out. You know, they're saying, oh, you know, this is like a feminist movie or something. And the director, he mentioned that like he didn't really have a target audience of whether like, you know, it is a feminist movie or not. He said I think his intention was he just wanted to make like a good movie, because like it does suck that a lot of female led movies like these days maybe are not as successful. Like, you know, like why don't men watch them? I think like I actually don't have an issue when it comes to gender. Like if the movie is really good, I'll watch it. Whatever, like
Sure.
regardless of the sex of the lead. And as I said, like this is like I think this is my favorite Korean film. You know? It's interesting because like a lot of people who know me growing up, so I'm the guy that likes really like dark, gritty, like very masculine portrayal of like guys beating each other up and like really dark, twisted shit. But yeah, I'm more of like the psychological, like because I love madness as a theme, and like you guys, I've been on your guys' podcast twice now, and I've come up with like dark iterations of whatever we're talking about. And now that you've seen these movies, you can kind of see where I'm just borrowing.
I see where your headspace is at. Yeah, it's interesting.
It's like, oh yeah. Yeah, so like the more times I show you guys movies, it's like, oh yeah, I think I know where this dark remake is gonna go.
I'm coming to understand, Thavy.
Yeah, so like you guys pretty much get me now. So I'm not that original, really. Like yeah, all my cool ideas are just from Kim Jee-woon and Bong Joon-ho.
I don't know. I'm still impressed.
So I'm not very original.
I'm still impressed with your Paddington dark remake. That shit was sick.
We should actually make that. I'll write a screenplay.
I'll fund it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Sounds good.
Let's do it.
If you guys haven't listened to that episode, I'll put a link in the description.
Go fund me.
It was a fun time.
It was a fun time. But speaking of remakes, well, before we get into the remake section, like, do you guys have any like last thoughts on this movie before we have a bit of fun destroying my favorite movie of all time?
Oh no, I don't know. I suppose honestly, my review on Letterboxd is just by the end of the movie, you're like, oh, I see why the dad was so fucking tired the whole time because his daughter's so nuts, and you see why he's always so exhausted. Oh, she's in my bed again. I've got to go downstairs, and why would she be normal? So that was one of my favorite things by the end, to look back and be like, oh yeah, I see why he's so exhausted.
The bit where he calls the stepmom and is just like, I think you need to come over. I think you need to come back.
It's gotten vaguely out of hand.
Yeah. And then he's just like, oh, please stop. Like, she's dead. She's dead.
Like,
please
she's
stop.
just dead. I know.
I'm so tired and she's dead.
Can you stop bringing the black bag of bones into the house? Like, we're trying to have dinner.
I guess all like final thoughts. I don't think I've actually said, but I did actually really enjoy this movie. It was very, very good. I feel like I've just talked about how scared and confused I was.
That's probably what we should have asked you guys first. Like, did you actually like this movie?
It was good, thumbs up.
Dan and I were wondering because like not all of our movies have been fully accepted, which is fine because they're pretty extreme. But we're like, yeah, do you reckon they'd like? I'm like, yeah, I'm sure they'll like it. It's a good movie. But yeah,
big solid.
Would you guys recommend this film to like your friends that perhaps like horror films?
Yeah, I think if I have a friend who likes Hereditary, I'd recommend this to them. It kind of gave me the same vibes in a good way.
Yeah.
Even though I know Rhiannon doesn't like
kind
Hereditary.
of elevated horror. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Rhiannon? You're more of a Midsommar girl.
Yeah, that's my kind of horror movie. I like the Midsommar, like the menu Get Out kind of vibe of a horror movie.
Yeah, okay. No spooks.
Yeah, no spooks. Not a jump scare in sight. It's lovely. I'm so relaxed.
You watching all those terrible things happen to William Jackson Harper, like, I'm so relaxed.
Yeah, it was great.
What a beautiful day.
That's like a comfort movie. It's brilliant.
Not a comfort movie. It's old people jumping off a cliff. How is it a comfort movie?
But it's so cool. We're in a cult in Sweden.
It is really
brilliant.
Because all the all the terrible dudes in that film get theirs. They get theirs, don't they?
That's
Yeah,
true. That's
yeah.
real feminist
Dude
media.
gets thrown into a bear.
Midsommar is great. Yeah. I do like Ari Aster quite a bit.
I love
He's
it.
cool dude.
I loved Bo is Afraid. I love him.
A distinctly cool
Yeah,
and
but
uncool
we-
dude.
Mm-hmm.
Can we do a Beau is Afraid episode one day? I just see that like Unleash. I've seen that movie like too many times. And Ari Aster recently just said in an interview that he was disappointed that the movie wasn't that well received because it was
Aw.
like A24's worst performing movie.
Really?
Well, I guess you'd be
Really?
really
5
disappointed,
stars.
wouldn't you?
I was
Rhiannon
there
did
on
the
the
worst. Well,
Because he
I
said
mean,
that was his most personal film. Like he put
Yeah.
everything into it.
That was his
And
magnum
everyone's just
opus.
like, I don't fucking like it.
yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, didn't Marty say that Killers of the Flower Moon was like really inspired by Midsommar? So I feel like that's a
Yeah.
compliment.
Yeah, he did say that.
Uncle
Yeah.
Marty liked it.
Yeah.
Just a side note, have you guys seen that movie yet?
I have.
Yes.
Killers of a Flower Moon?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's good.
Big thumbs
Dan
up.
hasn't watched it yet, so he can't spoil it.
Dan,
Yeah.
watch it. It's fucking great.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll watch it when I have a spare 4
Don't
hours
drink
or whatever.
beforehand.
Watch it and we can do Leo Frogface for like 2 hours. after.
Yeah, that's,
Leo's
that's
little
always fun.
frown.
I do enjoy seeing Leo's frog face.
God, not frog face. That's so savage. Holy shit.
All right. I'm not sure if you guys ever had a look at the outline, but what we like to do with our guests now is, well, for whatever movie we're talking about, we like the guests to come up with a terrible American remake. And since that already exists, and I've spared you guys from watching it,
Thank you very
because
much.
it's a waste of time and the worst movie ever made, in my opinion.
Oh shit.
So what I've written up is
So Thavy wants to do the Disney remake.
Yes, the
of
Disney
A
remake.
Tale of Two
Oh.
Sisters. So let's
Okay.
imagine that the Disney Corporation has acquired the rights to A Tale of Two Sisters, and they're planning on casting the actors and getting a director for it. But of course, Disney being Disney, they're gonna Disneyfy it a little bit.
and musical numbers.
We're talking musical numbers.
yes.
We're
Okay.
talking quips.
And how would you make this palatable for like everyone as well?
We're talking no
Yeah.
potential incest, probably.
No, not even a hint of potential incest happening. Okay. No, this is so doable.
In the bin.
Yeah.
Okay.
So take your time. This is the fun part where I will happily cringe for the sake of comedy
Can't wait.
in this comedy podcast. I think comedy movie podcast.
Yeah,
Whatever,
so
whatever
the
fuck
goal
we
is
are.
to make it as hurtful to
Yeah.
Ooh,
Tavi's
okay. Goal
soul
is to make Thavy
as-
cringe.
as
We can
possible.
do this.
Go.
Okay. Let's brainstorm. So I mean, all right, the sister can't be dead. None of that. That's just not. It can't
Okay,
happen,
yeah.
right?
Ooh.
Sister
just
coming. That's a
can't.
pretty big thing to change. How,
It is, but
So-
like Disney can't be that sad. Also, you don't want to scare the kids by being like she
what
was
are you
dead
talking
the whole
about? All
time.
Disney films involve dead parents,
yeah, dead
right?
parents. So the mum is dead.
Yeah, but it's transparent. It's always transparent. And also, I feel like if you're a Disney movie and one of the sisters is dead, people would complain that A Tale of Two Sisters was like a false title. I think you want the sister bonding in a Disney movie. I think
right.
people would complain.
You're right. They would question the math.
So I think the sister can't be dead. I think evil stepmom is definitely on the table. I don't know if we can make it a psychological twist. Do you think Disney thinks the kids can handle this?
Oh, I don't think so.
Are there any Disney films
No.
with psychological twists?
Inside Out. That Pixar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking just stepmom who's evil who learns to be good.
Okay, stepmom learns a lesson.
I feel like that's the angle. Then you keep the evil stepmom.
Are there still ghosts in this film?
Friendly
Yeah, we can keep the
ghosts. Like the
ghosts.
sidekick
Ghosts are
is the
fine.
ghost.
Okay.
Friendly ghosts.
Are they comedy
Yeah, it could
relief?
be the mum that's dead. Yeah, exactly. It's the mum who's dead.
So Josh Gad would be one of the ghosts. And then there'd be
Yes.
toys, right?
Oh, so the
Oh, God.
ghost mum appears every now and then just to crack
Yeah.
wise.
We've got to
Right?
think of merchandising.
Ugh.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, these ghosts need to be like very recognizable silhouette, a great design. I'm thinking they can't also at the beginning, they can't come back from like a mental institution. They've got to come back from like a holiday or something. You know, why are they moving in?
Oh, man.
Yeah, I think you can still have the dad had an affair and married the evil stepmom. I think that's
Really?
fine.
Really?
Do the kids? Yeah,
I'd actually
I
think that is pretty
could
extreme
work.
for
I
Disney.
think the
Like, you can't have
affair,
affairs
yeah.
in Disney movies.
Okay, all right, fine. Maybe the mum dies, the dad remarries, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
that feels
that'd be fine.
normal.
That feels
Yeah.
normal, yeah.
Okay.
How does the mum die? Obviously, the mum doesn't die from depression.
No,
Skiing accident.
friendly TB.
Just
I think just the illness.
just
the quote
Disney
unquote
illness.
the illness.
Ah,
yeah,
yes,
just
yes,
yes.
Disney illness. Like they just
She had
Or-
the cold.
Or some kind of shipwreck.
It's not just Frozen. We can't just. I'm sorry. I know we all love Frozen. We can't just make Frozen again.
Frozen. It's the two sisters thing.
It's exactly Frozen. Although, if we're Disney, they might want to give them magical powers.
Yeah, what kind of powers do these sisters have? It can't
I
be
mean,
ice
you could keep the
powers.
psychological thing. One of them could be like telepathic or something.
Oh, yeah.
A
yeah.
telekinetic child,
yeah. I guess, yeah.
maybe.
So
Mind reading child? I don't know. I feel like we can keep the psychological energy here by having one of them be
I
a little
feel like
supernatural.
Sumi would be the telepathic one, and Su-yeon would be the Sorry, Sumi would be
Telekinetic?
telekinetic, and Su-yeon would be telepathic because she feels like she's more
Okay.
empathetic, right? Whereas
Yeah.
Sumi is more kind of like about action.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
maybe because she's telepathic, she can connect with the ghosts. So they
There
move
you
back
go.
in, and she has these ghost friends.
Played by Josh Gad and Eddie Murphy.
Sure. Yeah, Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy, yeah. Get him in.
Who I know Josh Gad is Frozen guy. What's his name? Snow dude or
Sven?
Sven?
Snow dude?
Is Sven the moose?
Olaf.
Olaf.
Olaf, yes.
Olaf.
And he's Gaston's bestie.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's
He
yeah,
sings the
yeah.
Gaston
Oh,
song
that guy. What's his name?
in the Beauty and the Beast remake.
LeFou. He's LeFou.
Yeah.
LeFou, yeah.
Would this be an animated or a live action adaptation of an animation that doesn't exist? So would this be live action or would this be an animated film?
I think animated so we can get the ghosts to be cute.
Yeah.
I think we really want the cute ghosts.
Yeah.
So they're
I-
not too scary.
I think I guess because live action already exists, and a live action hurts me more because it's like I feel like live action's insulting to the
Okay, we'll do
animated
Right.
originals. But
At least it's a transformative art form.
yeah, so yeah, probably animated. Yeah, animated is fine. I actually prefer Disney animated stuff way more than. But yeah, that's just
Now
my
I want to
opinion.
make it live action so it hurts your soul.
It's live
Like, this
action
isn't
now,
helping.
Tavy. Look
It's
what you've
live
done.
action. It's all the Stranger Things kids, and they're all
Yeah.
live action.
And the ghosts
It's like Ghostbusters 7.
the ghost effect has been done on the crunch as well, so it looks like shit.
Looks very colorful. Yeah, even though both movies, even the original is quite colorful. But like, yeah.
Ooh, I have an idea. What if the kids are trying to connect with the ghosts to the dead mum to reunite the ghost mum with the dad because the dad is sad because he misses her?
And they don't like the stepmom as well.
Yeah,
So they're doing like
But-
a parent trap situation, but with a ghost.
potentially. Maybe, yeah. Maybe they go into the ghost realm. Maybe they like go under the kitchen cupboard, but they go into like a fun ghost land. Like a reverse version of the world where the ghosts are there.
Isn't this Beetlejuice?
That is very
It's-
similar
it's
to
Beetlejuice,
yeah.
I feel like maybe you get like a Stranger Things upside down where it's the house, but it's kind of like all the ghosts are there. And you get a little musical number like Be Our Guest or something.
yeah. Danny Elfman to score.
Yeah.
What would be a musical number? The dinner scene? Would that be the musical number?
Yeah.
Where like
Are you thinking of that exact scene from Beetlejuice where there's a dinner scene and they all sing Daylight Come and Me One Go Home? Yeah.
I wasn't thinking that.
Maybe.
I was thinking that.
I feel like we need to include the bag.
Yeah.
Is it like a big bag of like magical stuff?
I'm thinking the bag is some kind of like hijinks trap that the kids set up to trap the stepmom in.
Ooh,
So like the
okay.
stepmom kind of cottons onto their plan. So they set up this bag trap and then it catches her in it and she's like wriggling around in it. It's kind of
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And then they beat her with a stick.
Yeah, like a Scooby-Doo trap, you know?
Maybe they enlist the ghost's help to like try and to scare the stepmom, to like scare her away.
Who's playing the stepmom? Is it Kate Blanchett? Is it Idina Menzel?
Michelle Yeoh.
Michelle Yeoh.
Okay.
We love
Ooh.
Michelle Yeoh right now, right? She's huge right now, right?
Thavy cringe, so
She's got form at evil stepmom.
Yeah, I'm trying to choose like mainstream.
So would this be an Asian movie an Asian
Oh.
animation. So
What
Disney's
would
actually
make you least happy?
No Asians would make Thavy
Okay,
unhappy.
no Asians. Okay. Okay, Blake Lively is the evil stepmom.
like Lively.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make Thavy upset.
I'm not like, I'm pretty indifferent to Blake Lively, so I guess that might piss me off. I don't know. It had to be the.
Ooh,
it had to
Give
be
us
the
a list of
portrayal.
actors you don't like.
Yeah.
I don't really have a list of actors I don't like.
Yeah, just go with your gut, guys.
Well, you need a song written by Taylor Swift. Just a song
I
written by Taylor Swift in it.
I don't really mind Taylor Swift.
But it has no place
Oh,
being
I
in
know.
a
No, that
Taylor's
wasn't-
Two
I know.
Sisters.
That wasn't because I
movie.
think you hate her. We need Taylor's big right now. We need a Taylor
that's
song.
true.
I can tell you something that I would really dislike in this movie.
Okay.
Is twerking. If twerking was somehow put in this movie,
oh,
or-
Matthew Morrison's the dad.
who?
Matthew Morrison's
From Glee. He twerked in front of the kids in Glee. Sorry,
you
that
go.
might be too niche. He's like a
Trust
theatre
me,
guy.
This is really cringe.
This to us this is the most cringe.
It's got Lin-Manuel Miranda
Yeah, he's
in
like a
there.
musical theatre guy.
Yeah.
got Lin in there.
Oh, Lin-Manuel Miranda can be one of the ghosts.
Lin-Manuel Miranda's a ghost. Yes, I love it.
Oh, Lin-Manuel
Yes.
Miranda.
Yes.
He's a ghost.
He can write the ghost song. He's the friendly ghost. Maybe he's the ghost trying to teach the kids, like, maybe we shouldn't be mean to the stepmom. Because obviously there's got to be redemption here. Like, they've got to get along in the end. The stepmom needs a sad backstory. That is why she's mean. We got to justify her meanness.
That's a good point.
Don't Disney films usually have a villain?
Well, yeah, it can be the stepmom for now, but then, like, then they realize they
she
can
gets
get along.
redemption at the end. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like she needs a reason why. It was her mum mean? Are we going down that route? Well, is it like Disney were like, oh, my mum was killed by Dalmatians, so now I hate Dalmatians? Like,
Maybe it's
is
just
there a
like,
really lazy one?
Maybe that can be left for like the sequel movie where it's a spin-off of based around the stepmom and it's just her evil origins and it humanizes her, like Maleficent style, you know?
yeah.
Cruella
yes,
style.
played by Angelina Jolie
Yes.
in the sequel.
Or whoever's hot at the time.
Yeah.
I think the dad needs a song. He needs a little sad song in his study about how
He's
he
like,
misses his
"I'm sorry."
wife.
And how he's confused all the time. It's like, what's going
Yes.
on with my daughter? I don't know. And he's just like,
Yeah, he needs a little ballad. Thing is, obviously, the solution can't be to bring the mum back because we need the stepmom to be good in the end. So what
So-
does the dad get? Do we rekindle their relationship?
Yeah, he gets closure.
Well, I think
Yeah, we kill the dad and he becomes a ghost.
kill the dad.
And then they can be ghosts
oh my
together.
God, perfect. Then he can be with the mum.
isn't this just Casper? The first Casper movie? You remember that?
Casper 2, A Tale of Two Sisters.
Because like Bill Pullman plays like Christina Ricci's dad, and he dies and becomes a ghost.
And
But
he's
then
happy
he-
about it?
But then they put him into this ghost machine, and he comes back to life.
Oh.
So yeah, maybe there's a machine
Maybe
that
the
brings people
children are
back
mad
to.
scientists
Maybe,
and they build a ghost machine.
maybe it could be that like Suyeon could still be like dead, but she's actually like trying to come back to life somehow, and then there's like a machine that like brings her back to life, or something like that.
Maybe.
Is the dad an inventor of some kind?
Yes. Yes. He's like the dad in Cats vs. Dogs.
Oh, I haven't seen that movie.
That's too niche.
I know of that movie, but I haven't
God damn
seen
it.
it.
Or the dad in Beauty and the Beast? He's an inventor, isn't
Yes,
he?
okay,
Or-
no, that's good. I like that. All right, he's an
Okay.
inventor. I
All
don't know.
right.
I feel like a dead child is too sad for Disney. Dead parents we can talk.
Casper is a dead child.
Yeah, but he's a cute ghost.
Maybe Disney is taking a little bit of a risk. Maybe they've realized all our movies are flopping. We need to do something different.
No, it's unrealistic. Now they're gonna stick with the same old shit. It's gonna be like
Yeah,
Frozen
that's
3.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
The kids have powers.
So would this be Frozen: A Tale of Two Sisters? Even though that already exists as
Yes.
Frozen 1. Like,
It's just a retelling of Frozen.
yeah, but with tragic Koreanness to it. But who's gonna play the sisters? Who are the actresses?
We don't. I don't know many child actors because I don't watch like kids stuff.
Maybe think of the actors, but like as if they were teens. Well, I mean, like Im Soo-jung was 25 when she played this role, so she's not necessarily
Okay.
like a child.
Mm.
The
Yeah.
stepmom was like she was like 31 when she played, so she's not even that much older than the actress. Like,
Oh,
her
damn.
daughter, yeah. But she just looked because makeup, special
Right.
effects.
The Bob was doing a lot of work.
yeah.
Oh yeah, we've got to make sure that Disney has the same bad wig for the dad. The wig has got to like distinctly
The
wig
stays.
the whole
wig
time.
and
Same
the-
wig. You
just
go
the
back
air
into the
of
storage
tiredness.
unit, find the original wig. We need to keep the wig.
Yep.
I think
Yeah, I don't know. Does Millie Bobby Brown have a younger sibling?
I think if you
I
wanted
don't know.
if you wanted to make me sad, I'd probably cast like Ashley Tisdale from like High School Musical days.
She's like
Or, like,
35.
Yeah, but like I'm just picturing if she was like 16.
Okay.
This is like, yeah. But yeah, she is 35
Okay.
now.
Clone Ashley Tisdale as a child and have two of them.
'Cause,
I
like,
mean,
yeah.
the Olsen twins.
The
When they
Olsen
were
twins.
younger?
Oh, yeah.
Olsen twins when they were younger, yeah.
That would be a very Disney
would
thing
do
to
it.
do. Yeah.
Lindsay Lohan
Yeah.
The
twice.
Olsen twins.
Ooh, I've got the dad.
Who's
Paul
that?
Rudd.
Paul Rudd is
Oh,
the
Paul
Ah,
Rudd.
yeah,
Yes,
that's pretty
that
spot
is-
Paul
on.
Rudd's got to be the dad.
Yeah.
That's spot on.
I
yeah.
love that.
Paul Rudd's the dad. What's
I
going
don't know.
on?
I feel like as soon as we get Lin-Manuel Miranda
I
on board,
can
him and his
only-
ghost squad.
I can only picture like Paul Rudd as like the white version of the dad and just being confused all the time. Like, what is
Yeah, no,
going
exactly.
on?
It's perfect. With the wig, with the bad
Yeah,
wig,
it's got
grey
the wig on top of his Paul Rudd hair. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the wig on top of the hair.
Paul Rudd.
Yeah, I think just Lin-Manuel Miranda, a legion of ghosts, teaching the kids about family, works for me.
Ugh, disgusting. Isn't this just that? What's that movie with the magical people, but then one of them's
Oh,
not
you mean
magical?
you mean every Disney movie?
That's every movie.
No, it was pretty recent, and I actually liked it.
Encanto?
Yeah, it was Encanto.
Encanto.
Yeah. This is basically I guess it is Disney.
I loved
rehashing.
Encanto.
Yeah, Encanto was actually
Good
pretty
film,
good. Yeah.
like Encanto.
Message was a bit like mixed in the end, but like overall, like it's a pretty good Disney movie. Yeah.
It's good shit. Can we plug our episode for that?
Yeah, I'll link your episode in the description.
Thank you very much. We were drunk on Prosecco at the time. It was a very weird episode.
Oh, very nice. Do we have a director for this?
Director Noah Baumbach.
No, I like Noah Baumbach though.
I do as well, but I think it would make the movie weird.
I'm not sure if he would do like
I-
he doesn't do Disney movies though.
Who does do Disney
No.
movies?
Yeah, that's
These
true.
days.
It's just like random people.
I don't
that-
actually know the Disney directors.
Yeah, that's true. Do you know a director that would actually make this really shit?
No.
Who?
Director of Crazy Rich Asians. What's his name? John M. Chu. That's it.
Oh yeah, John M.
John
Chu.
M. Chu. Like
Do we hate that guy?
I've disliked every single one of his movies. Like
No.
they're all very.
Oh no.
He makes a glossy film.
He makes
Thavy.
very glossy, like
Right.
very glossy movies, and I think it's full of shit. But I don't want to burn too many bridges before I get into the industry,
Man.
even though I've already fucked up. I've said too much shit on this podcast. Lucky we're small, Dad.
Yeah.
So like people can't just. Hopefully the
Maybe
executives-
Matthew Vaughn. Because I
Matthew
like some of
Vaughn.
his movies, but I also don't like a lot of his movies.
He's the one that did Kingsman, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I think he'd make a slightly trashy version of this movie.
yeah.
I think Matthew Vaughn, but with a lot of studio interference. Like-
Yes.
Just to the
I
point
like
where
that,
it
yeah.
does not resemble a Matthew Vaughn film at all.
Kenneth Branagh with a lot of studio interference.
Brother,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that's
I reckon he would be okay at doing like a good remake of this film.
it's
But
funny because Kenneth Branagh's not a bad director.
He's
He
not
makes
bad.
good stuff.
yeah.
But
But
Yeah.
yeah, lots of studio interference to
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
point
Yeah.
where it's just a mess.
well, when it's a
So
Disney
many
movie,
reshoots.
when it's a Disney movie, it's not even like the director's movie. It's just like
yeah,
it's
they're just a figurehead,
it's just
really.
a Disney.
Yeah.
It's Disney stuff. Yeah,
That's kind of what like Marvel is as well these days.
yeah.
Yeah, we can't just say the Russos again. That's what we said last time for the Willy Wonka one.
Yeah. The director, I feel bad for the director of Marvel films because like they don't get that much creative control, but they also have to
They have
answer
to act like they have
they have
creative
to
control.
answer
yeah.
questions
Yeah.
about comic book heroes for the rest of their careers as well. And every
Forever.
convention they go to.
Does Captain America fuck? I don't know.
I don't know, man. They just
Please
brought
ask me
here to
about
do
my
this
indie
show.
movie. Thavy, did you cringe enough? Did we succeed?
Probably, yeah. I think it's pretty cringe. I think the most cringe would be the director is John M. Chu, because like I just like his movies.
Director is
We'll
John
go
M.
with
Chu. The sisters are a de-aged Olsen twins.
Yes,
Paul
digitally
Rudd.
de-aged Olsen twins.
Paul Rudd is the dad with a wig on.
I reckon I like.
Yep.
I actually like that choice.
I
It's
do
just
like Paul Rudd,
ridiculously
yeah.
funny.
He would actually be pretty good. I don't know.
The energy would be so different because it's Paul Rudd. And I just could not like if I was. I'm trying to imagine this if I was actually watching it. And I see Paul Rudd has played this like confused dad. It would just be like really funny.
Adam Sandler is the dad.
Oh, Adam Sandler. What
Now
is
there
going
we go.
on here?
Now it's trash.
That was trash. Ooh.
There's no such thing as
And
ghosts.
Blake Lively is the stepmom. Ooh, Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg is the dad.
Yeah, he's
Mark
good.
Just give me a
Wahlberg has-
second.
Mark Wahlberg has come up.
Just
in
give me
all
a second.
He's got
Gotcha.
form at being a confused man.
Yeah, he's good at that.
Yeah.
And then Blake Lively. I think we got it.
Like Lively.
Yeah, and the story is
I think we did it.
The two sisters trying to reunite dad with ghost mum while driving away the stepmom with their telekinetic / telepathic powers.
Yeah,
Cool.
I think like every Disney movie, the premise is solid and then it kind of like fizzles and then it's like, oh, it's kind of like neat ideas and oh, I like the
Yeah.
music, but it was fine.
And the stepmom, although transparently evil in this film, she's gonna get a sequel where she, you know,
Yeah.
they explain her
Of course.
humanizing
Yes, where we
backstory.
see the backstory and her evil stepmom, and then there's Cash Money Forever. You can just keep going.
Forever.
And-
Infinite sequels.
And Sumi is like an adorable girl, as
Yeah.
Disney
Yes,
likes to make.
clumsy.
And there'll be
Yeah.
a Tale of Two Sisters sing along on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, the karaoke
Although no
versions.
periods, because Disney can't have
periods.
periods in their movies. That's off the table. No,
Yeah.
no. They wet the bed.
No, the powers are a metaphor for periods. The
Yeah.
manifestation of their powers.
A very weird
Oh.
metaphor.
Jeez.
Maybe,
It's funny.
maybe the stepmom had powers the whole time,
Yeah.
and she just needed to like believe in herself.
Yeah.
I still think the winner of the worst remake is still the actual remake that exists. if you
I'll
guys,
trust that.
If you
Man,
guys
I
are
gotta see this remake.
It's
Sounds
like,
bad.
I
trust
was
you.
contemplating whether I was gonna like tell you guys to watch it to compare, but I'm like, no, I don't want to give any exposure to this garbage movie. It's
Thank you.
like-
I appreciate
yeah.
that.
Can you explain maybe one scene or one change that explains why it's terrible?
It's terrible because it's very Americanized. So you've lost all the like Korean like melodrama of it. The characters are very unlikable.
Mhm.
Like they're kind of typical like whiny like teenage character. It's honestly, if I think about the filmmaking aspects of it, it is a competently shot movie, but it's just like it's dumbed down to the point where it's like it's so digestible that it is just it's insulting to like what it is adapting. It's just taking out all the fucking the nuance and all the beauty that is in A Tale of Two Sisters. It's just gone to just this trash American garbage movie. And yeah, like I remember back in the, if you
makes
really
sense.
wanted to grind my gears, back in the day when IMDb had forums, and me and my friend were looking at the like comments, and it's like, and people were like, yeah, like I've seen the original and this one, like the original is good, but the thing about this one, it's more entertaining. I'm like, fuck off, man. Like, you know, like,
No.
can't you like
You are the problem with cinema.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, and then like I just had to shut off the computer. I'm like, nah. It's just like it's
Don't
just
do that to
yeah,
yourself.
It's a garbage movie. It's my least favorite movie of all time, I think. Yeah, it's just
So
it's
If anyone's out there and you like that movie, you are garbage.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, you
You
know,
are hot garbage.
Dan and I always say, like, taste is subjective, but if you like that movie, I think you need to watch
Not
more
today.
movies.
Not with this movie. You need a lobotomy.
Yeah. But no, I think that's pretty good for us.
Yeah,
then.
you've gotten it all out of your system.
I got it out of my
Thavy.
system. We talked about this movie
That's
like
good.
2 years ago, and then I really like this movie. So like, I mean, like to you guys, I would say like, yeah, like I mean, if you're not too scared, like it's a movie that you should rewatch because there's a lot of things to look for, like just little hints and little things that are just in the frames and little things that are there that make this movie just rewatchable. Like I think it's fantastic.
Mm. I definitely appreciated it more on multiple watches.
Yeah, I forced you to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine.
You're gonna sit down, Dad, and you're gonna watch this fucking movie.
You Clockwork Orange him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tied me into a Hessian sack. Just my head poking out.
Start beating it. Yeah. But
Is that what you guys get up to in your spare time? And then you like take a moment to be civil when you call us. You like press record and you're like, okay.
oh, that's
Yeah.
definitely. Oh,
As soon as
definitely.
we stop
We get
recording,
along.
it's like, all
And
right,
you
Dan,
stop recording and you just get the stick.
back in
Oh.
the sack. In the sack you go.
Back to it.
Honestly, any
You've had
movie,
a nice like couple hours of fresh air.
any movie that
Back
has
in
like
you go.
a fight scene that me and Dan really like, we always just try to reenact it. Like so, yeah, we are actually pretty.
Did you
savage.
reenact this one?
Oh yeah, I stabbed Dan in the hand with scissors. Yeah.
Slay.
But it wasn't actually me. It was just a manifestation in Tavy's mind. So he just
Oh,
stabbed
I
himself.
see. If you turn the camera around, your house is in like massive disarray because you've spent so much time fighting imaginary people in your brain.
I'm more of the dad character in this scenario. Just
going
like,
on?
Tavy, man.
The straight man.
Tavy.
Come on, Thavy. Like,
Come on.
she's gone. Dan's gone. Don't think about it.
No, that's unrealistic because I wouldn't be that sad. But yeah, like well, I guess like yeah, where can people like find you guys?
That's my
Who's
job.
doing the
Normally
plug?
Rhiannon
Who's doing
question.
the plug?
I normally ask you that. Go on.
Okay, so yeah, you can find our podcast, Character Chaos, wherever you get your podcasts. We are also on Twitter. We are Character Chaos _. On Instagram, we are character.chaos. And then we're just Character Chaos on like TikTok and YouTube if you want to check it out there.
Yes, please do. I would
Slay.
recommend.
Yeah.
If you enjoy
Aw.
fictional characters of any kind, Rhiannon and Margaret have probably talked about them. And it's very entertaining when they do.
Yeah. If you
Pretty
just,
unhinged as
thank
well.
you. You guys are so lovely.
yeah, just comfortable listening. That is like it's pretty chill, but it's funny as well. It's give these guys a listen. There,
We
good
will
stuff.
link
Aren't you
in
sweet?
the description.
Yeah.
Thank you for having
thank you so
us.
much.
Yeah, thanks again for
Yeah.
watching another.
Thank you for having us at so early in the morning for you guys. What is it, like 3 a.m. for you guys?
Yeah, it's nearly.
Oh my god.
Spookiest
Fuck
time
hell.
of day.
Go to sleep. Oh my god.
And to everybody that's listening out there, I hope you're having a good Halloween or a good November or a good December, depending on when this comes out.
Yeah,
Happy 2024.
Yeah.
yeah.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Merry
Whoa.
Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. all that, whatever those holidays.
Happy Easter. It's April now. We fucked up the audio. It's now April.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Until next time, take care.
All right. See you later, guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.